Speak your soul. Speak your soul. Just let it go. Let it go. Speak your soul. Speak your soul. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Welcome to Speak Your Soul Sessions number 3. And today I'm going to discuss the concepts of masculinity versus femininity. So I often see on social media videos such as how to rest in your femininity, or sometimes I see in a certain comment section or videos where it's like women are too masculine nowadays, right? And people often think about masculinity and femininity in very black and white ways, right? Like, if you're a man, you should be masculine. If you are a woman, you should be feminine. Well, today I'm going to challenge that and have a constructive conversation on how we can look at masculinity versus femininity. So, for a little background on me, I have a bachelor's degree in communication with a minor in journalism, and I have a master's in communication as well. And I will be honest, I do not remember all of the communication theories that I should probably remember by now. However, there have been a lot of theories that would stand out to me. And what's always stuck with me is Sandra Bem. And if I'm mispronouncing her name or pronouncing it incorrectly, somebody please correct me. But Sandra Bem is an American psychologist who came up with this gender schema theory. And all of this information that I'll talk about today, I will link it in the description so that you can read these things and form an opinion yourself about it. But long story short, the gender schema theory, basically, she's saying that people, number one, often misconfuse sex and gender. So, sex, according to the gender schema theory, is the biological male, female, or intersex, a combination of both sexes, category we are assigned at birth based on our chromosomes and reproductive organs. Okay? And then the theory refers to gender as socially created roles, feelings, heavy emphasis on the word feelings, and behaviors that society deems appropriate for men and women. And then Sandra Bem also talked about kind of like a reward system, right? So when a young boy is playing with Tonka trucks or running around getting dirty playing football, his father is proud, right? He gets rewarded for that type of behavior. However, if that same child or that boy is behaving in a way that may be considered a little more on the feminine side, you've heard it all your life. You're too soft, man up. He gets punished. And so children learn about their gender through roles, feelings, and behaviors that society deems appropriate for men and women. Okay, so we learn this certain gender related information, as this theory is saying, is passed uh, through the generations in the form of gender schemas. So basically, children learn how to categorize gender or organize gender related behaviors based on reward, punishment, observation. Um, you could say the same thing about little girls playing with a uh, Barbie doll or playing with an easy bake oven or something like that. You might hear mom say, "Oh, she's so cute. Look at my precious little baby." But maybe if that same girl wanted to play football, people would be like, "Hmm? Do you really want to do that? So little boys are praised for imitating their fathers, it says, participating in sports. Wow, yeah. But they would be punished or shamed for playing with makeup or dolls. So basically, we learn about our gender roles through our parents, through past generations, through society, right? We learn about that. And then, okay, Sandra Bim also created the open sex role inventory, which I'll break down and read. In the 1970s, Sandra Bim developed the Bim sex role inventory to challenge the view that masculinity and femininity were polar opposites and that a masculinity femininity not matching your gender was a sign of poor mental health. Okay. Bim thought it was possible to be both masculine and feminine at the same time, and that this was the healthiest psychological state. The open sex role inventory, which will be in the description, was developed as open source modernized measure of masculinity and femininity. So I challenge you to go ahead and take this test that I'll link to you, and you let me know if you were more masculine, feminine, or androgynous, meaning that you're like almost on the same level when it comes to those concepts. Okay, and by now you're probably wondering, like, oh my goodness, get to it. What are feminine traits? What are masculine traits? So I'm looking at Wikipedia to break this down. Like I said, I'll link all of this. So they define femininity, right? Traits such as nurturance, sensitivity, sweetness, supportiveness, gentleness, warmth, passivity, cooperativeness, expressiveness, modesty, humility, empathy, affection, tenderness, and being emotional, kind, helpful, devoted, and understanding. These, according to Wikipedia, have all been cited as, notice this word, stereotypically feminine. Okay, so what are masculine traits? Still looking at Wikipedia again. Traits traditionally viewed as masculine in Western society include strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness. So let's talk about this. Have you not known times where a man or woman in your life, whether it's your father, mother, your siblings, whoever, haven't been both in different situations? I would argue that masculinity and femininity are very, very situational. So, have you not known men that are kind, helpful, collaborative, cooperative? Have you not known men that maybe in other situations, depending on the situation, they had to be very strong, courageous? They were assertive, right? So imagine a child, a young boy, sad about something that happened at school, okay? And his father just yelled at him, or his father had like just a very dominant or assertive way of trying to console or comfort him, if that's even possible. That wouldn't be right in that case, right? He would have to go into a softer, more nurturing side. Now, at the same time, one day his father could have a talk to him about, how to fight bullies and how to be more assertive and courageous, right? But in that moment, the dad will have to tap into a softer side. It wouldn't be right for him to say, "What's wrong with you? Stop crying," right? Okay. And think about the workplace. I'm sure that you've seen a woman have to be a leader. She is doing a presentation and she has to speak with confidence. She can't speak like, in today's presentation. You could probably barely hear me when I said that, right? So there are situations where men and women have to be both masculine and feminine, or situations where one has to take over the other. And what Sandra Bim is saying, that if you have both, that you're at a healthy psychological state. If you, I would argue, know how to use both your masculinity and femininity in different spaces, you'll be all right in life. And when we talk about love, right? I would argue that it's not about, because you're a man, you need to be masculine all the time. Because you're a woman, you need to be feminine all the time. It's just about being a good person, knowing how to read the room, and knowing how to use both energies. A man can't be independent all the time. And there are situations where it just doesn't benefit a woman to be nurturing. Maybe she has to be more assertive because she has to talk about her boundaries. So I would argue, stop saying that people need to be more feminine or masculine. Just advise people to be good people. Just be a good person, and you will win every time. All right. And I think that's a great place to leave this off. Thank you so much for listening to Speak Your Soul Sessions. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and please, please, please tell me what you would like me to discuss next. I will listen to everyone's request, and I'll try to make a constructive conversation out of it. So I hope that this was very informational. It opened your mind, and I challenge you not to only take that test and comment below if you're more masculine, feminine, or androgynous, but when you see people use these terms in such black and white ways, challenge them. Send them these links, because at the end of the day, one of the greatest things that you can do is help educate people. All right. Have a good day, night, or evening, wherever you might be.